I am Eliziam and welcome to my channel. Last week's video was an introduction to a project that I have spent the last 12 months almost working on. And I had the pleasure of introducing my very good friend and business partner, colleague, Andrew. And guess what? He's back this week by popular demand. Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Hi, Eliziam. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. So we talked last week a bit about how we met, about the background of this project Utopian that we've been working on. And this week we are going to look at the newest version of a Utopian site. So let me just rewind just a little bit, because if you haven't watched the video yet, then you will have missed a brief overview of what Utopian is. And I can tell you that Utopian is actually a huge thing to try and define, but we can try and put it into a nutshell, just a few words. It is an alternative community framework that encourages co-collaboration, co-creativity, trading and engagement. Would you say that's fair?
I think that sounds a really good description, yeah.
So today we're going to have a look at Scribal, which is the latest version. But before we get into it, I've got a couple of things that I need to let you know. If you would like to get in touch, then you can do so by finding us in the links below. Normal channels, so we've got social media in there, and video ask in case you want to get in touch and chat via video. Also, last week, I asked you to watch out for the massive lie that we dropped into the video. And I want to say thank you for all of the comments that we had, but particularly to the people who spotted that massive lie. There was Laura, Nick, the Healthy Workplace, and Teg. So thank you everybody for spotting. I will tell you at the end of the video what that massive lie was. And don't forget to watch out for this week's massive lie. And as always, stick it in the comments below and we'll tell you next week whether you were right or not. So Scribal, Andrew, the latest Utopian community, and this community is based around writers.
That's right. We've chosen to go with the publishing industry. So we'll be inviting independent authors, editors, illustrators, book cover designers, readers, of course, people who like to read books, to join the community. As a Utopian community, it's completely free to join. Your data is completely safe. We comply with GDPR regulations, so you can be assured we're not stealing your data or anything like that. The concept of Utopian is actually a community of communities that all interconnect, intercreate, intercollaborate, and as such, starting with the publishing industry is very exciting, and it gives us the opportunity to build some interesting profiles into the system.
Cool, thank you. Okay, so we're going to swap and change between us so that we each get a go at showing you different features of the site. Let's have a look at the homepage first of all. Ta-da! So as you can see, the URL for this site is www.go-scribal.com. That's www.go-scribal.com. Now, Scribal, a play on the word tribal, but for scribes, is a writing community that, as you said, Andrew, invites people who are writers, readers, editors, and designers or illustrators. And all you need to do to sign up or log in, so the first time you come along, you can either click join here, or you can use the login link at the top right-hand corner. That will also allow you to change it for a sign up. Then it's very simple. You just pop in your email address or your name and then click sign up and you automatically have a profile. Now, before we go any further, I should tell you that the first 50 people that enter the site have the very wonderful job of being beta testers. So we are more than happy for you to come on board and to give it a go. Try and use the site and let us know how it works. So this is different to your average community site, for example, through social media, because it has all of those amazing features. It brings people together. But this site allows you to focus on what your strengths are and then to build abundance, to build wealth through it by doing the things that you're good at. And that would be different to Facebook, for example, or Twitter, all fantastic platforms. But actually, this one allows you to collaborate and to build abundance. So you have all of the normal features that you would expect to find. There is an area here for resources. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. It's a place where you can upload files and share files. Then you can also find tribe members so that you can meet other people and start your journey of working with them. There is the caves, which is our version of the social media platform here. And then there is also quests, which allow you to level up, to improve your skills. We're talking about betterment again. And you can earn badges by completing tasks. It's not essential, but if there's something connected to your area of interest that you want to do to improve your skills in some way, then that's what they're there for. So, Andrew, what happens when someone joins, when someone signs up?
I think the first thing I would do when I join up is I would create a profile. And where our profiles are quite interesting is that you can build the static part of your profile out the same as you would with any other community. So you can have a photo, you can add a video, you can put your bio in, and you can say whether you're a writer, a reader, an editor, an illustrator. You can be all of those or any combination of those, and you can write a little bit about or show with tags a little bit about what genres you're interested in and where your areas of expertise are within what you do. Where we are slightly different as well, though, is that you can upload books or works that you've already done if you're a writer, for example, and that actually counts as credits in your profile. So we're actually building an evidential profile. When you go to a person's profile, you'll be able to see all of the books that they have in the library, all of the blogs that they've written, all of their social media, everything that they've done. So you're building a picture for that person, you're building a presence. And if we go to the dashboard, we can see here in the dashboard that we have a whole range of different scores, what we call TSOP, or total state of presence. And what we're doing with these various different states of presence, physical, visual, creative, and active, is we're actually giving an indication of your engagement within the community. And that's important. Why is it important? Because when we initially join a community, what we usually do, human nature, we build a profile and then we never log in again. Or if we do, we still do so with the expectation that just having a profile is enough. We don't have to do anything else. We just have to have a profile.
Hang on a minute. We've all done this. Let's be honest. This is the equivalent of buying some gym equipment and then leaving it in the box and then wondering why you're not getting fit.
That's a really good analogy, and I'll tell you why. Within the utopian laws, we talk about how human beings are the best and most durable store of value. And we talk about this in terms of energy. So it's interesting that you should mention gym equipment, because of course, if I buy some gym equipment, I'm absolutely packed and pumped with energy, one would hope, and ready to go, but I'm not actually going to expend any of that energy and turn it into anything because the gym equipment's still in the flat pack. If I open the flat pack and I actually use that gym equipment, I expend that energy and I turn it into perhaps muscle, for example. It's the same with the community. If I register for a community and I create a profile, that gives me a little bit of a physical and a visual presence. If I keep logging in, if I interact with other people, if I upload my books, if I upload my poems or my videos or my podcasts, if I interact with other members, if I do any of the many, many things that you can do within a utopian community, that actually builds for me cash. Okay, it's salt and pepper. It's our own internal virtual currency, but we're going to make that virtual currency available for use for trading across all of our communities. So as we keep rolling out new communities, you'll be able to trade with more and more people for more and more things. So eventually, salt and pepper will be a really, really good way of trading. And I should add, Eliziam, it's not the only way of trading. So it's what we call a hybrid trading platform. You can trade using ordinary money, pounds, dollars, whatever you're using. You can even trade using cryptocurrency. And if you're a writer and you've already got books out on, say, for example, Amazon, you can actually submit links to those Amazon pages and we'll put them in the library for you. And effectively, we're advertising your book for you. And people will see your book and all the details for your book, and they'll click on the link and they'll be on the Amazon page and they'll be able to make the purchase in the usual way.
Now, hang on a minute. I think for the interest of transparency, we should just pause for a second and explain why Scribal is the newest community that's been set up, because you are an established author. You have had many years of a writing career, and in the past you have written all sorts of things. I know that you've been a ghost writer, so you've got some excellent ghost stories, and I also know that you've done a lot of historical fiction as well, and at the moment you are in much demand for your excellent poetry. In fact, even this morning I know you had a new poetry publishing contract come through. It's true.
Yeah, it is true, but you know that I'm too humble to talk about such things. But
well, okay, but I'm hoping that your most popular work, the biography that you did on the royal family member, will be available for people to buy on the site.
Yes, I plan to make this what we call a salt and pepper exclusive. And a salt and pepper exclusive is basically a digital copy that any author or writer or whoever can upload to the system. And once it's gone through the submission process, it can actually be traded purely for salt and pepper. And this is a really good thing for writers because, normally if we want to get our book reviewed, what we tend to have to do is give away free copies. But what we can do here is we can put up a sample of our work or the whole work in digital format and get something for it, salt and pepper. But what's even better is that the way that salt and pepper is mined is very green. You don't have to have an expensive computer. You don't have to have enough power to run a nuclear submarine. All you need to do is be engaged in the platform. It's really that simple. If you log in, if you engage with people, if you write reviews, if you buy or trade books, if you read a book, if you write a blog, there are dozens of ways. In fact, there are 42 different points within TSOP at the moment. And in addition to that, there are another 4 totals and a grand total, which go to make up the grand scale of the algorithm, which is constantly working out how engaged you are within the community. And this is important because we want a vibrant community. We want people to be talking to one another and trading with one another and working together collaboratively and co-creatively with the other communities to create a world where we're all doing things we enjoy, but creating currency that we can use for trading.
And I think that is definitely worth a deeper look at. Okay, so I am very organized. Earlier, I wrote this wonderful blog post here, which is all about how the platform can be used. The blogs in the platform can be used as an area for collaborative writing. Just one example of what the blogs could be used for. So this article here explains how that can be done. Now, I'm going to copy and paste this into Scribal so that it's a new blog post. And I'm hoping, Andrew, that this will give me some points for my total state of progress.
It will indeed. What it will do is it will give you creativity points, most specifically creativity points for uploading a blog to the library. And what you will find even better is that tomorrow after the overnight process, or if you're in America, the overday process. What will happen is your TSOP totals will update, and you will actually find that tomorrow you will have some more salt and pepper currency, because you will have actually mined some currency just by uploading that blog.
So you're saying that I will wake up richer tomorrow because of this?
Shouldn't we all?
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. What else do we need to demonstrate? What do people need to see in order to have a fulfilling experience on Scribal?
I think that it's worth mentioning what we call the caves, which is effectively our own internal social media. It's very similar to what you might expect to see on Facebook. It works on a groups basis. You can join one of the existing groups, or you can actually create your own groups. And this is part of the foundations for what we'll be rolling out over the coming months in terms of fan clubs within the tribes, because of course we're going to have different tribes within the site according to the different genres of writing. And within that, authors or even readers can actually start up their own fan clubs or have fan clubs created. And the other thing to mention about the group system, the caves, is that we're rolling out currently social aggregation. And what social aggregation means is that if you wanted to, you would be able to make a post in the social media within Scribal and then hit a button, and it could go out to all your other social media channels. So you could actually make one post go to 4 or 5 different places if you wanted to. And another important thing to remember is, we've touched on the fact that the profile is evidence-based. There's some real evidential stuff in there. Now, bear in mind, if you're creating YouTube videos, if you are posting on LinkedIn and on Twitter, and if you're publishing digital content and you're putting it out to different places, Scribal is an opportunity to put things into one place. It really brings your digital footprint together, because actually in reality, when it comes to our digital existence, it's quite spread out. We mentioned this when we talked last week about how our existence is really across lots of platforms. What this does is it allows you to bring all of those things together. And of course, we've got some new things that are being rolled out at the moment as well. If you maybe would like to talk about those a bit.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We spent all morning talking about these. So at the moment, people can buy and sell virtual or physical goods through the site. So books you've mentioned before, papers, but it's going to be even easier to transfer this currency between individual users. So for example, Andrew, if you upload one of your wonderful short stories, then I could be your editor, for example, and go through and suggest tiny alterations. So we could have that interaction happening between us as 2 users. And we will also be able to include a contract for this work, which I think is very, very exciting, so that both parties can digitally sign and it will be a binding contract, and then we can agree the price for that work as well. So that's huge.
It's worth adding to your wonderful description of the collaborative tools, but if I'm a writer and I want to engage an editor and engage a book cover designer, for example, I could actually create a project within those collaborative tools. We've got the CRM, haven't we, that we're developing at the moment. So that'll be rolling out over the coming weeks as well. So I'll be able to manage all that I do with my writing career from Scribal. I'll have my CRM of all my useful contacts. I'll be able to start a project. This is my work in progress, my WIP. So I bring in my work in progress, I give it a name, and then I can start bringing down the people who are going to be helping me with doing things, the editor, the book cover designer, an illustrator perhaps. And I can assign tasks, and we can share between us who's going to be doing what and how we're going to be doing that. And we can actually, as you rightly said, we can arrange a contract based on that, and we can even make those payments in salt and pepper, or they can be in traditional cash.
It's just so exciting. As we mentioned before, we're ready for the first 50 members to come in as beta testers, but we have some other news as well, because as you have probably gathered, Utopian is configurable for many, many different purposes. And so we are ready to set up our next community. Could it be you? The first 5 people who sign up for a fresh Utopian community will have the whopping discount of 50%. So that's a very exciting thing to announce. And feel free to get in touch through the channels below, Video Ask, or our social media, or indeed in the comments. And we would love to have a chat with you.
I think it's worth mentioning that not only is that an amazing offer, but think of all the different ways that Utopian could be used. Think about, for example, we have already an active intranet being used as an intranet within a company, and they actually use the salt and pepper system as a reward system. So you're building in that level of engagement. And of course, the more communities we add, the more places the employees within that company can use the salt and pepper they earn for being engaged. And companies will know, when you create an intranet or you introduce any software to a company, one of the biggest problems is getting your employees to actually engage and use the system. They have an old way of doing it. They don't want to use the system. So here's a way of actually getting them to do that, because they're literally being paid to do their jobs on the system, which is cool. And of course, it fits with the writing community, but it will fit with any kind of community. And all of those communities, very important, going back to this, we want all of those communities co-collaborating, co-creating. We are creating communities that you, the people, can have a stake in. The whole idea is to create a community that is run by people, not a community that is run by governance or by the government or by anything like that. We want everybody to play a part in this. Give us your ideas, be a part of our movement forward.
Thank you so much. Brilliantly said. So I have just enough time to reveal what the massive lie was from last week's video. To remind you to put the huge whopping lie that you surely spotted this time in the comments below. And the whopping lie from last week was, Andrew, do you want to reveal it?
Yeah, we've never actually met, so we didn't have a meeting in Luxembourg yet.
Lots of people spotted it though, so but a few people didn't. A few people thought the fact that you hadn't had a haircut for 2 years was a lie.
But it's a little misleading, because of course I've been cutting my own hair, otherwise it would have been down here. But yeah, I haven't had a proper haircut for 2 years. That's actually the truth.
And so in next week's video, we are going to be delving into the philosophy behind Utopian in a bit more depth. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing you there. So if you like this channel, remember, don't tell me, tell your friends, and I'll see you next time.